Greetings to all of you who are participating in this important seminar organized by Parliamentarians for Global Action. As members of Parliament, you play a vital role in promoting and protecting the human rights of the people you represent, everyone you represent, especially vulnerable groups and members of marginalized communities. One of the most striking changes in the human rights debate over the past 5 years, ever since I came into this job, has been the emergence of a growing consciousness of the rights of lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and intersex people, and the extent and gravity of human rights violations against them. International human rights law guarantees human rights for everyone, LGBT people included. But every day, in countries right around the world, those who are LGBT face discriminatory treatment, arrest and imprisonment, physical assault, and sexual violence, even murder. Demanding an end to these abuses doesn't mean we have to ask for new rights to be created just for LGBT people. Just that LGBT people are entitled to enjoy the same rights as everyone else. Ask yourself this question: do you condone violence and discrimination against LGBT people? International law has established a framework of minimum human rights standards, but these have no effect without implementation and enforcement at the national level. People must be able to rely on the legal framework in the country where they live. That in turn depends upon Parliament and the laws it passes. Let me mention 3 areas where I believe legislative action is most urgently needed. The first is decriminalization. The criminal law should never be used to punish individuals on the basis of their sexual orientation and gender identity. To this day, 76 countries retain laws, in most cases inherited from colonial times, that criminalize consensual relationships between adults of the same sex. These laws breach basic rights to privacy and to freedom from discrimination and are the cause of serious, unnecessary human suffering. They also breed stigma, discrimination, and violence and should be abolished. The second area where action is needed relates to laws against discrimination. In many countries, existing laws need to be amended so that sexual orientation and gender identity are included amongst prohibited grounds for discrimination. And because discrimination can occur in many different settings, the law should be sufficiently broad in scope to protect people from discrimination, not just in their workplaces, but also when they see a doctor, attend a school, or indeed engage in any activity. Finally, let us work together even harder to tackle hate crimes against LGBT people. Many countries have already successfully passed hate crime laws, appointed special prosecutors, improved tracking and reporting of incidents, and initiated training for the police so that victims are dealt with in a sensitive and appropriate manner. Public education, including in schools, must also play a role. The United Nations Secretary General Ban Ki-moon recently called homophobic and transphobic violence and discrimination, I quote, one of the great neglected human rights challenges of our time. Well, there can be no excuse for neglecting it any longer. I urge all of you to use this opportunity to learn, to exchange ideas, to return home with a new resolve to stand firm in defense of the rights of LGBT people in your own countries and around the world. Thank you.